Alrighty then, we are into the final 5 weeks of this championship. Hello everyone and welcome to round 14 of the NEF1 Championship. Now we're very well out of Europe. We are heading in to the Asian and Middle East and slightly American part of the season as well. It's a mixture of everything for the end of this season, but this week we are heading towards Suzuka and Japan for the Japanese Grand Prix at a brand new reprofiled circuit. Latest scan on this game. It's going to be very interesting to see how this new rendition of this track races. We got cars coming out next to each other on the pit lane. Reina's heading out early on track, so is Holman and Squidge, the championship leader by a massive extent after last week's debacle. Matty taking the win, but Tess failing to score a single point, with Squidge scoring 18. Now has above a 40-point lead in the championship as we're heading into 4 weekends remaining after this one. So Squidge right now with one hand on the trophy van. Can Matty at the moment in P2 do anything about it? Can Tess somehow come strong towards the end of the season? Needs to outscore Squidge by almost 10 points per race though. If he wins, however, every single race remaining, he'll put some serious pressure on towards the finale. So we'll wait and see how this everything unfolds. A lot of special helmets going to be ran throughout this event, you could imagine, with it being Japan and all. Matty Adam with a brand new lid on for this week and this week only, but it's looking absolutely gorgeous in white, pink, red and blue. Absolutely perfect lid. Bright yellow, bright pink for Mr. Wilco. Djokovic all white. There's a couple of ones out there. I don't believe that's Tess's normal lid. The white and red. Squidge is running his usual. It's a very pink helmet for a BT. Noah, I believe that's the usual. Now we got a couple of special rendition helmets. Race running a bright pink one as well. Luna, I believe that's a standard helmet. Jamar's running standard and Recon's running standard. So a couple of Japanese edition helmets for this weekend then. Reina through the SS on board with him for this first run of his session. An 18-minute qualifying session. This to determine the grid of the circuit we're overtaking can be a tricky. We'll wait and see what Reina can deliver on through this first section. Crucial to go flat out through here, and he does so. There's a decent first sector for Reina, 32.234. So we'll stick on board with the remainder of this lap to just set ourselves a little benchmark as to see what we can expect from the rest of the weekend. As Ray's manifesting an Alpine double podium. Wouldn't that be something for the Japanese Grand Prix? This might be the first double podium we would have had this season as well. I don't recall a double podium for any team this season so far. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that part. As here and some rain coming down to 130R. And then into this very tricky chicane though that's so raced on the apexes and on the curbs, and then is very slippery on the exit. Sticks to the inside as Reina goes fastest by over a second over Recon. 28.258. Tess goes 28.657. Holman 29.4 as Jamar is about to cross the line before too long. Luna places that Red Bull up into second place. We've got an Alpine about to come across the line as well. That's Ray up in second place. As far as fell by Jamar, 5th place for the Ferrari man. Then we have a Mercedes coming up to the line. It is Iwatts. He is not far behind his teammate, about 6 tenths off in P6. A BT coming into the pit lane early on, and Matty goes quickest out of anyone by 3 tenths of a second. P1 for Matty Adam, P7 for Darren Style. That's an upswing in form for the Swede if you can keep that momentum going, but everyone's easing the way into this qualifying sessions. Djokovic's banned in this lap. Mr. Wilco then is going to be the last one of this first bunch to come across the line for a 128.822. So then, it's an upswing for Darren Stiles. A good result for SFLY Jamer for the constructors' bid for Ferrari. Squidge not sending time as of yet. neither say BT nor Noah. I'm still waiting Noah's teammate of Ondrachek, who is has now maybe been invited. We'll just send him an invite if nothing else, as I just missed out on the chat message I got. As there we go, he now has that invite. He might have actually been able to join a little bit beforehand, but I'm not positive on it. So on the check, you should now have that invite, and it's just been accepted. Very, very good. So now I have the second racing balls of Ondrachek here in the lobby as well. Squidge and Noah then both out on track. BT coming out quite early, 12 minutes ago as well. I got a little bit of a weird voice today, so apologies for any almost growling noises in the background. It's just me trying to cope at the moment. Squidge 2017, P16, BT 15 for Noah in 14th. Djokovic in 13th. He's been on an upswing over the last couple of weeks, scoring some very solid points, capping it off with a podium last time out as well. Crucial for Djokovic to finally get that podium on this season, so it doesn't go without podiums here in Season 10. Unlikely to end up with a victory. We'll still wait and see though. Came strong towards the end of last season, but at least the podium on the cards then for Djokovic, making it a 10th season where we have a Swede on the podium, which for patriotic reasons I quite appreciate. Here we go then, Squidge into the first and second corner, nice and flowing on the apex, nice and good on the exit as well. And now through recesses, it's almost flat through them, just lifting ever so slightly throughout a couple of them, using the up and down shift to accelerate and decelerate that car. At the moment it's Matty, Marina and Ray, the top three. It is a very, very good fast sector. A second faster almost than Emreina, who's currently sitting in P2. So this could be a blisteringly fast lap time for Squidge 2017 now, who is utterly focused on wrapping up this championship as soon as humanly possible. Which is very likely at this current rate of form to be around Kota, with 2 races to go afterwards. Nice little slipstream there, picked up by the Haas as well, 109.754 coming through the second sector. And now on the chicane to go. How aggressively is he going to be approaching that little corner? Relatively aggressively, and then you stick to the inside to the wall, coming out of a chicane, and goes faster than anyone by 0.7 of a second to Squidge. And have fun beating that lap time, says the Ferrari man, especially now that rain is falling down as well, and that could be a ruined qualifying session here. Rain is coming down on circuit, and I believe that might just have been the lap for pole position there by Squidge 2017, which thankfully we're on board for, but for a driver of, for example, Djokovic standing, this could be a serious issue. Currently sitting down in 15th place on 141 with rain starting to fall. You better hope he can still improve somewhat on the guys ahead of him, even with this difficult weather. Ondrachek is going to be trying to do the same thing as BT's gone into the pit lane. That is probably the end of BT's qualifying session, we would imagine, unless there's an end to this rain very, very shortly. Squidge will be satisfied with that lap, then they'll most likely have gained in pole position. Noah will be very, very happy he was able to get that second run into, first run in, I believe it was, get him up to that 28.099. So then is the question. I can't imagine anyone is going to be improving in conditions like this. We'll go on board with Djokovic, who's currently improving, but looks like it's very, very, very slippery out there. Could he maybe get into the 129s with this lap time? Try to edge out Darren Iwatts and Recon? That's very doubtful, especially taking lines like that. Yeah, there's no grip left out on circuit at all. So we'll see. Could anyone give me an update on what the weather forecast for the Grand Prix will be in the Twitch chat, please? What is the predicted weather forecast, if nothing else? As here comes Djokovic across the line to not improve. He improves by 10 seconds. Doesn't improve position-wise. It's 1:31.047. As for Ondrzejczyk, he's desperate to get a lap on the board, and He's come out as well. There might be a couple of positions to gain on Djokovic's time then for Ondrzejczyk, and Beatty, as both Noah and Iwatts has retired from this session. 4% chance of rain, so it's a very, very minimal chance of rain for the Grand Prix then. As Tess is out on circuit, is that to start a lap perhaps? Oh, he's coming into the pit lane. So I would imagine track conditions then aren't going to improve, as Ray has retired from this session. As Matt is saying, it's quali over. So then I'm going to make the executive call that let's not sit around and wait for another 6 minutes. Everyone go back in. Luna's actually just come out of pit lane. It's unfortunate. Immediate tires. Qualifying is over, so I'm going to make this call now. Actually, it's the first time I've done this in quite a while. Instead of just having meaningless running for another 6 minutes, everyone please go into the pit lane and retire, and we'll get the Grand Prix started a couple of minutes in advance instead of basically pointless running around in qualifying. That is transitioned over to wet conditions. So everyone at next convenience, please head back into the pit lane. As Mr. Wilco unfortunately heard that call a little too late, I believe, and is now coming out of the pit lane. DRS has been disabled. Meanwhile, that call has happened. So I wish for anyone currently out on track on an out lap, if nothing else, retire on track, and then penalties will be waived as well. And let's end this session prematurely. There goes Luna, Mr. Wilco out on circuit, please retire. I'll get the Grand Prix started a little bit earlier. Qualifying is over then. Squidge on pole position, followed by Matty Adam 98 and Tess actually making it up into P3 there with a really strong lap. Noah in P4, followed by him. Reyna in 5th, Ray in 6th, followed by Luna and Mr. Wilco, Holman and Jamar making up the top 10. Mac is just outside, along with Darren Style, Iwatts, Recon, Djokovic, Ondrzejczyk and ABT with a very, very weird session interrupted there by the wet running. As Mr. Wilco, please retire at earliest convenience as well, and we'll get this session ended. ABT has left the session. That is far from ideal. Get him an invite back. As Mr. Wilco, please retire immediately. Retire immediately. S10, I fear we might not be able to proceed with the plan that I had imagined. Mr. Wilco currently out on track, and it doesn't appear like he fancies heeding my warning. Mr. Wilco into the pit lane immediately and retire from the session. Or retire on circuit is your choice. As Bjorn is in chat once again, saying, go, power Darren, today'll be big. Well, we'll wait and see. Could be an interesting Grand Prix, that's for sure, especially if we do have some rainy conditions as well. Mr. Wilco getting that wet practice in, even though he's technically not allowed to, will be investigated after the race. So that is noted to anyone in chat saying ignores Stewart's instructions. That has been noted down and will be investigated after the Grand Prix. Mac is not having retired, but not out on seconds, technically not holding up the lobby at this point. But everything during this situation will be investigated after the race. You can rest easy about that one. It's been noted down. 17 seconds to go. Mr. Wilco, final warning, if you can cross the line before the timer expires, I advise you not to do so. I don't think he will be able to, and the session will finally draw to a close. A little later than was originally imagined. Squidge 2017 on pole position then, followed by Matty Adam in P2 and Tess in P3, such as the championship order as well, with Noah in 4th and Reina in 5th, Ray in 6th, Luna in 7th, Wilco in 8th, Holman in 9th, and Jamar in 10th. In 10th place. As there we go, and we can see 7/10 of a second might be the biggest pole margin of the season, even though we had a massive one last week out of about half a second, if I'm not mistaken. 7/10 of a second just might beat that. Tess in P3, Noah in P4. Looking outside the top 10, we have Makis, Darren Style, iWatts, Recon, Djokovic, Ondercheck, and ABT. The aforementioned Ondercheck never really got a chance to come out on any dry tires. ABT wasn't able to get a run in that time. So then, we shall then wait a couple of minutes before we actually get this Grand Prix underway after a less than exciting qualifying session with that rain delay. But it's looking very, very nice and pretty for the Grand Prix that has come. So I'll be back in about 5 minutes time for the Grand Prix. So don't go anywhere. We shall be right back. So everyone, we are back for the Japanese Grand Prix, and I can confirm now in 30 seconds we'll be going racing for the Japanese Grand Prix after a little bit of a delay there. After maybe the most unentertaining qualifying session of the season, which never really saw any drama whatsoever, never really got going, and I wasn't expecting the rain. Now, hopefully, we can expect a bit more of a straightforward Grand Prix that has come 27 laps, if I'm not mistaken, around the Suzuka circuit. The only figure 8 circuit on the F1 calendar should provide some entertaining action indeed. So then, finally, some nice weather. Squidge 2017 on your right-hand side of the screen, Matty on your left, Tess just behind them along with Noah and Reina qualifying up in P5. Good result for the Sauber. With Ray in 6th, Luna in 7th, and Wilco in 8th. Holman 9th, and Jamar is P10. Let's just get all the lap data, telemetry, and everything else juicy to want up on screen for the start of this race. As Darren's taking an escapade off the circuit. Darren, you'll be obliged to close that gap up as soon as you can. Which at the moment could prove difficult. So I was pleased, do what you can to close the gap up. The same goes for both McLaren to catch back up to the back of the field and keep the gaps at a minimal distance. Not too big, not too small. Goes for Ray a little bit. Please close up, and it goes for Mr. Wilco as well. Close up to the back of Luna. So then doing some micromanaging on qualifying, doing some micromanaging on the formation lap as well. Don't I just love it being in power. Formation lap is well and truly on its end. Ben Squidge starting on the medium tyres. Matty going long in the first stint on the hards. Tess on the mediums, Noah mediums. That's a lot of medium tyres. A couple of outliers starting on the hard tyres, and then towards the back got a couple of soft runners, a couple of people running hard tyres trying to go long, a BT Djokovic among them. I believe there was Ray going long on his first stint as well, so the Alpines doing the same thing. But is that going to cost you a lot in the opening stages of this race? How difficult is overtaking going to be here? It's aggressively covering off that inside from Squidge 2017 before we start this Grand Prix. We shall wait and see who can get off the line better. I'd be surprised if Matty can. Here we go then. We're not far away from the Grand Prix start of the Japanese Grand Prix. 27 laps worth of racing coming up in just a second. As here we go then. We have 5 red lights. And it's lights on, away we go. Squidge gets away very, very well. Tess right around the outside of Matty into turn 1 as well. Has that move done before we get to the first braking zone even. And Tess is up into P2. Matty losing a position already and is under pressure by Noah as well in the next couple of corners for sure. We can get those hard tyres fired up. Bad start from Reina. Bad start from Macca's. Good start for Iwatts, Jamar, Holman and Luna up 2 positions respectively. Ray holding station in P6. Noah holding station in P4 as well. A good job for him, and Reina falling down 9-10 positions now even. Why is that? Because that's a ghost car. I'll give Reina an invite as soon as we can. Squidge fan holding on from the start, and I'm just going to hand that invite out really, really fast because there's a problem with crossplay. You can't just join the lobby by yourself. There we go, and Reina's been given an invite, and we can let that go for the time being. Noah is on the back of Matty into this long sweeping left-hander we'll call Spoon from now on. Isn't going to be able to get the move done there by the cherry blossoms, and onto the back straight into 130R. No DRS on here unfortunately, but a massive slipstream for Noah. My team down the inside of Matty into 130R. Slight contact between the two. Noah might have the position into the braking zone. Matty on the inside, Noah on the outside of the chicane. Is going to get feisty between the two, but Noah forces his way by. Matty has to see the position. The hard tyres is not a brilliant race tyre, as he is feeling right now on the start of this Grand Prix. If nothing else, DRS enabled at the end of this lap, or at the end of lap 1. Matty down the inside into turn 1, and it's ideally the place we want to be. Just squeezes Noah a little bit, and he's back up into P3, where he needs to be really, not too far away with P1 and P2 for the remainder of this Grand Prix. Noah would be wisest probably to either really get by or just hold station, try to ride with Matty to the back of the cars ahead. He's fighting for a podium here, Noah. He needs to play this smart. Can't leave himself too far back. You seem very, very exposed. Holman is in P6 at the moment, trying to catch up the back of Luna, holding Ray at bay for the time being. His medium tyres versus hard tyres. But he hasn't gotten the Alpine. Alpine fighting for Constructor Championship, and at the moment are running a good race for it. Squidge and J Marvo might be edging it up even better. As for Tess, he would need iWatts up a couple of positions as things stand. But iWatts is right in the back of his Ferrari rival, SFLY Jmar Jr. Let's see if they get a little feisty into turn 1, and maybe iWatts knows these are crucial points for the championship. It is that close. A P9 and P8 could make the difference by the end of the season. Right now, Ferrari and Alpine are in a shared lead of the Constructor Championship and cannot be separated by a single point even. Noah's gotten by Matty Adam again, lost a second further to the cars ahead. Squidge and Tess has ran away with this race by 3 seconds already on the opening 2 laps, and Tess is continuously putting pressure on Squidge here. It would have been interesting to see what would have happened in qualifying. Some rain are now thankfully back into the lobby, lost 12 positions on the start. Let's see what he can do after such a good qualifying session. Now all the way down into last place, but he might be able to get past Darren Style here relatively quickly after a little mistake in the SS. Outside, inside, into the hairpin corner. Where's it gonna go? Darren not really being aware that Emrena was on his outside there, but Emrena out-tractions him on the exit of the hairpin, and that is a good move by Emrena. Makes his way up from last place up to P16. 1 place nearer the points, but is not out of it yet. Emrena run a good race with solid pace. He'll definitely be able to climb his way back up into the points. Overtaking here doesn't seem to be impossible. But when we get into really, really quick guys, it just might be nearing an impossibility. Squidge and Tess then with DRS, and you see that DRS is doing jack all for Tess, who might be running a very, very high downforce setup by the look of it. Squidge might be compromising himself with a slightly lower downforce setup, but it'll be effective on keeping him ahead on the straights. But Tess visibly closing in here in the S section, wasn't able to get anywhere near on the straights though. Yellow flags in sector 1, and that is Emrena's been re-overtaken by Darren Style. Mr. Wilco down 7 positions to start as well. A lot of people having good starts here. Undercheck and ABT both up 5 positions each. Recon up 4 positions and into the points, and iWatts now, after another couple of moves, up 6 positions and up to P7. He's having a really, really good race here as iWatts. So keep an eye on him as he starts approaching or closing down Holman and Luna to eventually actually be able to fight for the top 5. Noah now 4.1 seconds behind Tess. Now here we go then, straight line without any DRS, only battery to play around with, and a bit of slipstream obviously as well. And Tess is actually just closing in a little bit on Squidge 2017 here, but there's not a massive amount of straight line speed capacity in that Mercedes. Especially not if you light up the tyres the way he currently is at the moment, as Matty's currently trying to do something to clear Noah and get rid of him, as well as he's going to be well past into turn 1. But this is just costing them Very, very precious time. 5 seconds behind leaders now, and barring any safety car, well and truly out of contention for anything higher than a P3, which in Matty's situation right now, 40 points behind the championship lead, heading into the final couple of races, will be incredibly frustrating. A man who's finished P2 previously probably doesn't want to do so again, but that might just be where he's on his way. As Ray's been able to climb back a couple of positions here on the starter lap, or on the start of the race, sorry. He's up to P7 once again, having been down P8 to P9 just a couple of laps back. And now got to start closing in on Holman then, who not really closing in on Luna, sticking with this train of Matty and Noah as well. So then, with the aid of DRS, is Tess going to be able to make a dent in the gap that Squidge has? No, Squidge actually extends that gap heading into turn 1 by about 0.02 of a second. Noah's not able to do anything about Matty. Luna's not able to do anything about Noah, and everything's holding stationary the way it was. As Undertech has now climbed himself into the points for Racing Bulls. That is a crucial result for that outfit in their bid for the Constructors' Championship. As Darren then has been left behind, and Reina, Mr. Wilco and Makis at the moment battling away for 14th place. Djokovic is in 13th, up 2 places, but seemingly not overly comfortable with this Japanese Grand Prix layout. I believe a layout where he struggled in the past as well, even though this is a very, very new reprofiled circuit, which looks gorgeous, by the way. Still the same layout that he struggled with originally. That is if my recollection holds true, which I am quite certain of. So we go then through 130R. Tess is actually visibly closer than he's been before now, within half a second, heading into the hairpin, coming out of the chicane, coming into the chicane as well. And now, can he actually do anything about that lead of Squidge 2017? Well, when you're a bit closer, you start closing in a bit quicker, but not quite good enough for Tess to make a move. How hard is Squidge pushing though? Mercedes behind him. 6 seconds is the gap between Squidge and Tess, along with Matty. 5.8 seconds behind after this battle with Noah has really dragged out on time. Jamar had a Undertech ahead of Iwatts, who started falling backwards slightly. The Jamaican Mercedes driver, the Jamaican British Mercedes drivers. A beat is retired from this session in the SSM. We have a full safety car, a BT, into the barriers in the SS. It was bound to happen to someone. A BT then retires after having a pretty good start to the Grand Prix. Gets no further than lap 7 in Japan. Down to 16 runs. Bad weekend at the moment for McLaren, and if Luna continues on this form and scores this P5, that will lock down the championship battle for P9 and P10 in standings. It will most likely be McLaren confirmed now in last place, even after a stronger showing last week out. Unfortunate that for a BT, but such is a thing that happens around the circuit. Now, lap 7 out of 27. Is that too early for the medium runners to pit, is the question. Can you do about 17 laps on a set of hard tyres? We might just find out. Squidge comes into the pit lane, so does Tess. Matty needs to stay out here now and hope for another safety car, because this is really played well. He's going to get track position here. It's not really played to his strengths. Noah comes into the pit lane. Luna comes into the pit lane. You would imagine the only one who doesn't at the moment is Ray, who's going to act a virtual roadblock for as many people as he can. Is Ray going to be able to find his way up in P2? Yes, he will. So that could be positive news for Matty Adam if Ray is able to slow the leaders of Squidge and Tess down significantly on their new hard tyres. They get involved in any squabbles. But how far can you actually hold them up for? Or how long can you hold them up for? Djokovic on his hard tyres actually made a good strategy of this if we end up having some more controversy this Grand Prix. He's up 10 positions now into P5, but of course he is yet to pit. Mr. Wilco now up in P6, Luna still P7, so she's made a good call on those hard tyres then pitting when she has. She actually jumped Noah in the pit lane. Yeah, she would have. So Noah being jumped in the pit lane there for whatever reason, I don't quite know why. But here got the tyre graph then. Mr. Wilco still out on medium tyres, a couple of people switching onto new medium tyres. I was trying to go a bit more aggressive, maybe hoping for another safety car, or realizing I'll have to pit again. And the medium seemingly being quite a decent race tyre. So now we'll see 7-lap old hard tyres versus, well, brand new hard tyres on this restart. It is absolutely crucial for Ray now to keep Squidge and Tess behind him for as long as he can into this Grand Prix and just allow Matty a little bit of breathing room. That is unfortunately Ray's sacrificial role this Grand Prix. We'll see how far he can play up to it. Darren, the only driver with a penalty on lap 8 at 27. It's a freezing time penalty. You would imagine multiple track limit warnings. We have 4 drivers yet to pit. It is Matty Adam, Ray W25, Djokovic and Mr. Wilco. Mr. Wilco, the only one of them not being on that wide wall hard tyre. We're looking at this man here, Squidge, 2017 championship leader now, sitting in P3, but a full pit stop ahead currently of both Matty Adam and Ray W25. This has brought Tess a bit closer initially than it was on the start, but Squidge might have it card. It's very, very difficult to overtake. Djokovic now involved as well. Who isn't involved anymore? That is a BT who triggered this safety car on lap 7 with an incident into the barriers at the late stages of the S section in sector 1. So, and a couple of people actually opting to put on a new set of mediums, Highwatts and Recon being among them. But mostly apart from that, it is all wide wall hard tyres. I wish we could on this lap get the racing going, but it looks like we'll be on the safety car for another lap. Safety car in this lap. That means Matty may control the pace of the field. And now has to maintain a constant speed until he decides to get on the accelerator to start this off, and he goes very, very early. Is that before the safety car is even pit lane almost? And that has left his teammate vulnerable to a charge here from Squidge 2017, who's going to try to break his way by as quick as he can, but it's not going to happen on this lap. Ray goes defensive, maybe too defensive there. Opens up the inside, coming out of turn 2, and he's going to be side by side with Squidge. He's going to power his way right by. And now Ray is busy trying to hold up Tess, but that has really not worked for the Alpine boys. Matty wasn't able to clear a second, and now he is in trouble. Squidge and Tess now a full pit stop ahead and on new tyres. This has really not worked out, unfortunately, for the Alpine boys. And Matty went way too early. Maybe try to catch the people behind off guard just a little bit. Ray would have been fully aware of when Matty was going in that situation. But with going that early, do just leave the other one, or the other cars on track with a bit too much time to recover of a bad restart as well. Excuse me for that little cough there. Yellow flags in Sector 1, I don't know where that is because no one's on Sector 1. But Luna is on the back of Mr. Wilco instead. So let's see if she's going to be able to do anything into 130. Maybe around the outside. Surely not. But maybe down the inside or around the outside into the chicane. Surely not, says Mr. Wilco, whilst he lets his car go mid-corner. And that gives Luna yet another little opportunity to have a sniff there, but it's not going to work. And now on to the start-finish rate for the first time since this restart. Mr. Wilco holding station in P6, but on worn tyres, mind you. As now Tess and Squidge right on the back of Matty, but them two having actually switched positions now as well. Matty from Tess from Squidge is the current order. Wouldn't this be a finishing order for the championship as well if Matty was to outscore Squidge by about 10 points to try to keep some sort of championship battle alive, as Djokovic has had an issue coming into the SS. Was he one of those drivers that stayed out, is my thinking? Yeah, he was. Those tyres might now have started punishing him a little bit. He is down in 15th and almost last without having made his pit stop. Darren's had an issue coming through the double right-hander as well, and up the hill before that happened. This then is a big issue for Matty, because when he pits, unless we have another safety car, he will come out in virtual no man's land. If we do have another safety car, he will be looking relatively handy because everyone else is going to have to follow him in on a set of mediums or a hard. Such, I believe, was the difference between a medium and hard tire during those opening couple of laps. And that was a new hard tire, imagine an old one. As here goes Tess Van to take the race lead against Matty Adams. Slight contact between the two. Little love bump out of respect there. These two did a brilliant battle for us or earlier this season, especially in Australia comes to mind. This time it's pretty straightforward. Tess takes the lead of the Grand Prix over Matty Adams and Squidge 2017, who's now desperate to get by the Alpine as quick as he can before Tess is able to take off. Tess is going to be doing everything he can to take off though. Just try to get rid of that Ferrari. So far Tess has timed this very, very well. Lap 12 out of 27 then. This race is actually going by pretty quickly. We're nearing halfway distance already with a relatively long safety car period. Mr. Wilco's had a problem. We have a Luna who is ghosting all over the place. Don't quite know what went on there as Noah's trying to get by Ray, but that's proving a little bit trickier, said than done. Or a little bit easier said than done, should be said. A little bit trickier done than said. It doesn't really work, but oh well, we'll run with it. Tess then, leader of the Japanese Grand Prix by 1.2 seconds. Matty's he now going to be able to defend himself from Squidge, or is he going to let the championship leader go? I somehow doubt it. Luna 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. What has gone on there? 10-second time penalty for corner cutting, which unfortunately I think is just about to be served in the pit lane, if I'm not mistaken. As Luna's retired from this race. For whatever reason, new tyres going on the Red Bull, but won't be seeing her again for the remainder of the Grand Prix, and it's a new front wing for Amrena. As whilst watching all that, I have completely missed the fact that Squidge has been able to get by Matty Adams now, and the battle for the lead of the Grand Prix is back on. This is Tess and Squidge. Lunavan, second retiree of this race, was running in a very, very good position in that Red Bull before something happened that triggered a 10-second time penalty in the DNF. I don't know what. I have a feeling we'll find out before too long. We'll wait and see if we get any reports on that. As J-Man now is running a very, very good race for Ferrari. It is crucial for Ray now to make anything of this strategy. J-Mar has maybe actually nailed it in terms of Ferrari championship position. And if they get a result like this, very, very interested to see what happens. I'm just going to leave you on board with this little battle for the short time being whilst I respond to a message. Holman and Ray. Holman ran back of Ray now, who's on those old tyres. So then there we go. Holman falling back just a little bit as I was closing in on Holman on those medium tyres. 6 laps old, about 3 laps in racing distance. As Ondrejek is retired from this Grand Prix for whatever reason as well. And we have the second safety car of this Grand Prix. And now it's in an interesting position. Squidge goes into the pit lane. Tess stays out. Matty follows him in. Medium tyres are going to be going on for these guys. Noah staying out as well on those hard tyres. So a lot of things going down at the moment. We'll wait and see what unfolds here. Perfectly played for Matty and Ray to go on those medium tyres to the end. But interesting enough, the Tess has elected to actually stay out there and not come in immediately. Is that just trying to cover it off? So, and a couple of people coming in. Squidge, Matty, J-Mar, crucially enough, as well. That second Ferrari's come in, along with Ray, Djokovic, and Reina had come in before that, but still in the lead lap. And now, this is a race reset with 12 laps to go that I think could be quite good for the outlook of this race. The question is, now, what is Tess going to be able to do against both Squidge and Matty Adam on that hard tyre? Noah, there's a couple of people to overtake. That could be Tessa's salvation here if Noah, Holman and Makis prove difficult to pass. This race, as Ray's just said, is not over. It is very far from over. There's a lot of things that could go down, and we could have our first double podium of the season. Whether it's Ferrari or Alpine scoring it, we'll wait and see. Question is then, are those mediums going to do 10 racing laps, 12 laps to the end? Are they going to be able to make that distance? So Van Tess is going to be taking this restart. He's not going to be coming into the pits this late, but I wonder if he just regrets a little bit that he didn't. As said, now he's going to be looking towards the cars behind him. Noah, Holman and Marcus to hold up Squidge and Matty. Would have loved for iWatts to be in that pack as well. It's proven himself effective several times before this season as iWatts, just holding people up ever somewhat. But as for Noah, he's going to be trying to go for the lead of the Grand Prix if I know him well. As for Holman and Marcus, it'd be a good points haul for them both to finish. Even if they finish about a P6, P7 in the end, would be very, very good points for Aston Martin come the end of the season. We'll wait and see how they reason into a situation like this. I'm hoping we get this race going at the end of this lap. Here is hoping. The safety car does tend to come in later apparently. As here we go, restart taken by Tesvan. Noah is right behind him. And he is really bunching this pack up. And there we go, race is restarted. No overtaking until the safety car control line, the start finish line. Tess holds the lead of Grand Prix even and gets away from Noah very, very well. He is followed by Holman, Marcus, Squidge and Matty. What is Squidge going to be able to do on this opening lap on Marcus Van? He's going to be able to force his way by relatively quickly in the same fashion that he did just a couple of laps ago versus Matty Adam. We'll wait and see. Oh sorry, that was referencing the overtakes they got done on Ray early on that stunt. Said we should wait and see. Marcus with a 3-second time penalty could impact in towards the end of the Grand Prix, but still a long way to go. 10 laps worth of racing action. Let's turn that telemetry off so no one can benefit of seeing it. As here we go, is Squidge gonna risk something into the hairpin? No. As to play this one quite smart as well. He is the championship leader, but he cannot afford to waste 25 points to reopen this championship battle as he goes down the inside of Marcus, heading into Spoon Corner, and that is a move nicely done. Goes off track though, which unfortunately means Squidge, you're going to have to see that position when you can. And that is going to allow Matty to maybe have a little look into 130R as well. And this could get messy. 130R, Matty versus Squidge. Squidge forced a little wide. Matty down the inside of Marcus is going to get that move done. Marcus solid in defense. Squidge throws his car in there in desperation, not wanting to allow Matty to get away with anything here. And this is scrappy racing between the two championship contenders right now. Squidge and Matty in P5 and P6 holding each other up by a significant amount, whilst Tess is out there leading this Grand Prix and running away with it somewhat. We have 9 laps worth of racing action remaining. There's still a lot of driving to be done, but this restart has played in beautifully as to what Tess would have wanted to be. Absolutely perfect for the Mercedes man. So then Squidge somehow managing to force his way by Matty Adams on that lap once again. Now Marcus is next up. Is he going to send one down the inside into the hairpin? No, thinks better of it again. Matty right there on the braking. I don't think Squidge would mind Jamar just throwing a cheeky little dive bomb down the inside of Matty though. But Marcus is about to be overtaken by 2 cars in. I don't think there's much he's going to be able to do about it. Maybe going to try to hold around the outside. That's not going to work. And now he's got to focus on his own race. Squidge and Matty just a bit too quick for that Aston Martin. Now Squidge is quickly coming up on the other Aston Martin of Holman as Tess has broken a 1.5 second advantage on Noah on these opening 2 laps. Oh, as Ray is all over the back of Iowa at the moment. One car running hard tyres, one car running medium tyres. Those mediums seem to be operating relatively well in comparison to the hards early on here. Yellow flags in Sector 2. I don't know what that is. I haven't even avoided it because no one is in Sector 2. Apart from the fact that Tess just entered it. But we'll just ignore that little fact for the time being. Ray still all over the back of Iowa. It's just calmed down somewhat. See if we have a little dive bomb into the hairpin. No, we don't. But then Squidge has caught up the back of Holman. He would love to time this in a way where Matty isn't able to follow through. Maybe into Spoon Corner, but not quite. Matty hunting a second straight race win, then Squidge hunting a race win that might just lock him down as the champion. Not mathematically, but theoretically that could take away any possibility of a comeback. If Matty wins this Grand Prix though, that does change quite a lot of things. Noah, this could be big, has received a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. That could be big for the Constructors' Championship and the outcome of this Grand Prix. Squidge down the inside of Holman for a podium position, forces his way down the inside, and now Matt is going to be desperate to get by the Aston Martin on the same lap as well. It's not going to happen in VS's, I can tell you that for sure. Matt is good through here, but surely you don't give an overtake of that caliber going to drive like Holman. Just have to think a little bit better of it. Squidge now will be highly motivated to get by Noah as fast as he can. The 3-second gap up to Tess Van, who has maybe pulled a very, very good strategy out by not pitting. Got a bit lucky with the people who didn't pit behind him as well. But such is racing. Tess doing a mega job as well. He is holding station and extending his lead over half a second per lap at the moment. And Noah's certainly not going to make this easy on Squidge either, so let's see what this little battle will entail. As Matty now well and truly involved in that low battle as well, within 3/4 of a second on the cars ahead. Let's see if we could have a double overtake here potentially if Noah gets very, very unlucky. Squidge though, I don't think he's going to have too much of a problem getting by that Racing Bull. Is Matty going to be able to? No, it doesn't get anywhere close to it. And now Squidge is going to be free for a lap to chase after Tess. And now we'll see how those mediums perform. 3.3 seconds to make up an overtake. Meanwhile, those medium tyres will be falling off at quite a steady rate, whilst the hard tyres of Tess should still be in relatively fine condition. Remember, it's 13 laps on them, but a lot of those laps are not racing laps. .9 seconds is the gap. Matty chasing down Noah for an overtake, maybe into Spoon Corner. No. Unless Noah just opens the door on the exit, which he won't do. It's a nice sweeping corner this. Takes us on to what should be a DRS straight, down to 130. I imagine just being able to open the rear wing here for a couple of meters just get you that little bit further along, which Matty would have desperately wanted there. Now into the chicane though. Is going to be able to pull a move off? No, he's just that bit too far back. But with the ADAS on DRS here, could be crucial. However, he has lost 2.8 seconds to Squidge over the course of this lap alone. This could very much compromise Matty's race and Matty's championship as well. Jamar is through on Holman as well. He's up to P5 and he is going to be past Noah some way or another. If this race stays the way it is, we could have a Ferrari 1-4 or Ferrari 2-4, which would be massive for the Constructors' Championship. Crucial for Tess now to hang on to this Grand Prix win, but Squidge is gaining on him by about a second per lap. Matty is going to be gaining as well. But the question is, how worn are those medium tyres, especially on Matty, for battling along with Noah for a lap further. 1.7 seconds separate the top two. As for Iwatts, he's run a mega race so far. Is it going to be enough for a good points finish though? We'll see. At the moment, just within that gap that he needs to take Noah at the end of the Grand Prix on penalties. Right now, Mr. Wilco in a good position as well. So is Ray and Recon with the time penalties ahead of them. Only 14 drivers left in this race. Darren not really having to keep pace to stick with them. Without that penalty, might have been handy. Lap 23 out of 27 then. 1 second is the gap. There's one thing to get by, it's another 2 overtake. Dirty air on these cars, but right now Squidge is reeling in the reigning champion and what could almost maybe be seen as a rite of passage between current champion to upcoming champion, which I think we can start discussing right about now. It's getting closer for Squidge 2017, and with a result like that, he definitely can touch it. Something's happened to Jamer that's caused him to fall behind a little bit. 1.9 seconds behind Noah now. Needs to manage that gap throughout to make sure it doesn't increase to over 3 seconds. So now my English is fully gone out the window, and it's a 3-second time penalty for Matty Adam. He's got to watch Jamar behind him now, but I don't think it'll matter too much. That penalty running quite a safe position, but that means it's going to be no higher than P3 for the Alpine man. It's another podium. Matty, he could have done so well with just a slight better start to the season. But here we go then. Talk about a start to the season. Talk about an end to the season. Squidge goes by his championship rival, one of two. And might that have been the move that just saw everything completed? Talking about that rite of passage, it might have happened heading into turn 1 at Suzuka. It won't be mathematically over until probably the week after Singapore, but that might have just been what put the final nail in the coffin for both Tess and Matty Adam. Squidge with supreme pace here on those mediums. He's taken 3 seconds out of Tess's advantage within 2.5 laps and has gotten by the Mercedes with relative ease. What a race it has been for Squidge 2017. What a second half to the season it has been as well. Looked a bit shaky for the first couple of races. Tess was right there. Then came Monaco. Then came Austria, if I don't believe, and a couple of other circuits that just really screwed up Tess's championship hopes. And Squidge, so well deserved right now, has a comfortable lead in the driver standings. Jamar and Iwatts though, this could be a battle that turns out relatively significant. It is 10 points versus 8 points on line between Jamar and Iwatts, but crucial points nevertheless. It could actually be 12 points versus 10 points on line with Noah's 3-second time penalty. And Tess is now falling back 1.6 seconds on Squidge. With 3 laps to go here, I think we can confirm it is going to be Ferrari Scarlet on top of the podium. But who's going to be joining them? Tess, Matty, Noah? Or are we going to have a late surprise here for the Japanese Grand Prix that has been incredibly exciting so far? And Reina running within the points currently after a horrid start. Let's hope he can remain there for Sauber, desperately needing some points as well. Djokovic currently sitting in P11, Darren in P12. Ray is losing a position down to 13th place. Let's see if he actually goes for it on Darren, or if you just are content with sitting behind, just waiting for those points or that point maybe to come away from him right now. as Squidge has broken away 2.5 seconds now with an advantage over Tess, who has just calmed things down a little bit, I believe. Just driving with a bit more margin. Those medium tires were the tire to be on. Matty's closing in on Tess as well, but it's not going to be enough because he has that 3-second time penalty. Jamar has lost too much time as well to Noah, is currently sitting in P4. This could be good for the championship as a spectator. Less of a chance that Ferrari absolutely run away with it. But they're going to take more points out of Mercedes here. They're going to take more points out of Alpine as Mercedes of Iwat goes by Jamar into turn 1 and get very close to making contact. P5 at the moment for Iwat. Could he even get that a snap higher if he starts reeling in the Racing Bulls of Noah, and who's on significantly older tyres? A brilliant result. He has 2 laps to haul that gap in. Noah right now will be pushing out of his mind. So when Jamar's lost pace late on here in this final stint. Yellow flags through Spoon. Don't know quite what went on, but Jamar lost all the pace that he had and the momentum that he had, and just fallen away. Overtaken by Iwatts now, and not entirely free from pressure from Holman behind. Mack is running good race as well. Mr. Wilco is going to be scoring some decent points here for Haas by the look of things right now. Currently on route to a P8 finish. But then, this is now what we're keeping an eye on. It's shifting between 2.9 and 3 seconds between Iwatts and Noah. Noah's going to be pushing with everything he has. Iwatts wasn't brilliant in Sector 1. Can he make that up with a stellar Sector 2? Oh, and that is the Ferrari of Jamar, not far away from the wall at all. But that gap is growing between Noah and Iwatts. But it has still been a valiant fight from Iwatts to try to do anything to keep that gap down. Got a couple of corners left to go. 3.3 seconds, and now the gap looking unlikely. But what a recovery after the pit stop for Squidge 2017. He started out 7 laps ago, 3 seconds behind Tess. He finishes the race 4 seconds ahead. The man who is likely to be champion wins the Japanese Grand Prix, and in spectacular fashion as well. Tess, he tried an alternate strategy. It worked on Matt. It did not work on Squidge, who is inevitable as things stand. Matty takes P3, and Iwatts does secure P4 in the race by 36 thousandths of a second over Noah with that 3-second time penalty. That could be huge for the championship for Mercedes as well. Critical points going back to Brackley. Noah finishes P5 after a valiant effort, which just wasn't quite his day. But what an end to the Japanese Grand Prix. It is all British on the podium, as it has been so many times this season. All British on the podium and all British on the top 3 of the championship. It is Squidge from Tess and Matty once again this season, and has been the story of the season. But what could have been, barring a couple of results for Tess and a couple of results for Matty going his way earlier on this season. The championship battle that could be coming our way next season it is going to be so intriguing, and it has been so intriguing, continues to be intriguing this season, especially the constructors, but still the drivers' championship is not locked down yet. We'll let you know when there's a chance of it being so. A mathematical chance might just exist next week out in Singapore, but it is unlikely. We'll keep our eye on what is needed for Squidge to lock it down in Singapore next week then, because I do believe now with this result he has the chance to. Couldn't quite get the race results up at the end of the stream there, but it is a very strong points finish for Mr. Wilco as well. It's a good result for Mercedes to try to cover off some of the damage done to them over the last couple of races. And it's a very, very, very good race from Squidge 2017 to take the win of the Japanese Grand Prix. Well then, we have 1 week to go before we are back in Singapore for one of a couple of night races to see out the season. So don't miss out on that one. It's going to be absolutely thrilling to go back to the streets of Singapore once again. This was a brilliant race last season out. So just, follow us if you're not already. Follow to get notified of whenever we go live. It'll happen a couple of more times this season, so don't worry about it. Until then, we'll see you in 7 days' time. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. Stay safe and peace out.